great start. Want to give a big shout out to Ashland Community Health Foundation because we got to kick off this week by they gave donated hats and mittens for all of our kids, so they got to choose between a hat or a glove, and every kid from the littlest one to the oldest kid in the school was super excited and happy because it was really cold that day. So just want to say a big shout out to Ashland Community Health Foundation for that. Also want to say thank you so much to our community care specialists. This is a really busy season for them, and I know that all of them spent time during the break helping out families in need and being really attached and connected and making sure that people, even when we're not in school, are getting their needs met. So really appreciate that. And I will send you these positives. Don't worry, Denise. She's like, oh my gosh, you're talking fast. Also want to just give a quick shout out to our special education teachers here, Allison Bailey and Sarah Ryerson. They're a new team together and they just work seamlessly to help support our students. And I just really appreciate them and want to give them special recognition for that. I'm here standing here for Heather Lowe. She's not able to be here as well, so I'm going to give some TES shout outs. She would like to say Happy New Year and Happy Board Appreciation. We are truly grateful for your leadership in our district, and there is no better place to work than PTS. She said TES is off to a great start in the new year. Teachers have welcomed back students with open arms and gotten everyone back into school routines and structures. They're also we are all also preparing for the end of the quarter, making it the midway point of our school year. So it's just crazy to be thinking that we're almost halfway through the year already. Just still feels like we're in the beginning stages, but pretty soon. So we're getting ready for our mid-year benchmark assessments in the coming weeks, and we're really eager to kind of share those results with you. And she is too. And she also wanted to give a shout out to Rosario and the entire community care team for their efforts in making the holidays brighter for our most deserving families. And that's it.
Kent Valliere, principal at Orchard Hill. Wait, it's Board Appreciation Month? No. Thank you very much and congratulations. I really appreciate what you do. One reason that I loved going to Southern Oregon University when I did a long, long time ago, above one of the arches in a doorway, there's the phrase that the foundation of a state rests with the education of its youth. And I'll never forget that. And I'm sure it's still there today. But thanks to your volunteer work and hours here and hours outside of this building and these sites, our kids are better off. So thank you. Just a couple things at Orchard Hill. I want to publicly thank Jamie Cross, Kat Paris, Erica Casarati, and Megan Nielsen, and Lori Evans. Yesterday we had a calibration meeting, and that means staff get together and we put up details about behavior issues. And as you can imagine, there's a lot of nuance to those and a lot of different opinions, but it's really hard to get up in front of your peers and present, but they did a great job. And as usual at Orchard Hill, the staff just responded with a lot of care and concern and honesty, and it was just a joy to watch them do their work. Also want to thank Sarah Ingstrom. We are looking forward to a Love of Reading night at Orchard Hill on February 7th, and it's going to have a mystery theme. The time will be to be announced, but I'm looking forward to that event. And that's about all right now at Orchard Hill. Aaron, you want to go next?
Good evening, board. Aaron Santi, Phoenix Talent Rising Academy. Want to echo what the other two have said about School Board Month. Appreciate you guys. Every time I read in the paper about a school district somewhere that's struggling with issues, I always thank you guys and think about, geez, it's so great to have folks that are easy to work with and are here for the right reason. So I appreciate that. Just before winter break, our students had an opportunity to take our Talent Maker City to work on some screen printing. And they were able to kind of design their own t-shirts and then create those screen prints, and they got to keep those. And so we're really grateful for our ongoing partnership with Talent Maker City and allowing them to kind of just explore different opportunities in the STEAM area. Also want to thank Joe Zavala, who was there several times and ended up creating a really cool video. So if you guys haven't seen that video, it's on our website, on the homepage of our district website. You can check that out. You can see the screen prints that came out, and I want to thank him for all the work that he does to make our kids look good and promote our school and our district. And that is it for PTRA. I will turn it over to Catherine. There she is.
I went that way. I was going to be really close to that camera, so I thought I'd come around to the side. Good evening, board. I do want to just thank you so much for your service to our district, to our youth, to all of us here. You really do exemplify the spirit of service, and that really means a lot to me. And I was actually on a Zoom call today with a bunch of principals from around the country talking about leadership and sharing stories. And once again, it made me really, really grateful for the school board we have here in Phoenix Talent, compared to some of the ongoing stories that I hear about around the country. So thank you for bringing a lot of joy. I think that's what I've noticed about this board. You genuinely seem to bring joy to the work, and that means a lot to me. We've had a great start to 2024 at TMS. 3 really positive days. It's just felt really, really good. And honestly, this seems almost dramatic, but I really do feel like today was my best day ever in the last year and a half. There was something, it's hard to put a finger on it, and every day is unique and special in different ways, but today I really was like, oh, I really enjoyed my day. So I wanted to share that with all of you. In general too, it just has felt kind of that theme. The last few days have felt really calm, predictable. I even had a staff member who shared that she had some hard stuff happen over the break, and she just said, yeah, I'm actually just looking forward to coming back to the predictability of the atmosphere that we've created. So, and a big shout out to the staff who have been out in the hallways making connections. We've really seen teachers reteaching some behaviors and expectations. And then our counselors put together a really great SEL lesson this week on kind and inclusive language, and just again, emphasizing that theme for this whole month. So big, big thanks to our staff for doing that. We also wrapped up a special winter festivity yesterday. Our 3 winners of the door decoration competition were given out. They had a cookie party yesterday. And so we want to thank Jamie Wright and our leadership students who hosted that contest. It brought a lot of creativity to our school. And then also big thanks to school board members Michael Campbell and Don Watson, as well as Brent and Denise, who joined us as the judges right before winter break. So thank you for that. And the winners were Mr. Daney's 6th grade homeroom, Miss Stewart's 7th and 8th grade homeroom, and then Leda Mark's 6th grade ecology and culture class. And then lastly, we just wanted to highlight that we had a great band concert right before winter break started. About 135 young musicians are in that program, and they showed off their skills for their family and community members. And so big thank you to Brett Eason and Jamie Dittmerner for their work with our students, and also to Joe for once again making a great highlight video and really showcasing and highlighting our students. So thank you.
I'm going to steal Catherine's idea so I don't have to be so close to the camera. Happy 2024. Kaylin Cross, proud principal of the pirate ship. Denise, I will also send you all this information. There are a lot of names, so don't stress. I just echo what everybody else has already said about Board Appreciation Month. I agree with what everybody said, and I also just want to say thank you so much for being a board that continually is asking students what they need and what they think. It is refreshing to be in a space where we're not only asking adults, which is smart, but really asking kids what they need and trusting that kids are able to articulate that. And I just really appreciate that, among a bunch of other things about you as a board. So thank you so much. A couple of positives that I want to make sure you're aware of. First is this year we launched a distributed leadership team with our staff members, and we had several staff members step up and say, really sure what this entails, but I'm here for it and I'm ready to do it. And so they dived into a couple of different trainings, and we're hitting a stride where we're seeing our staff just be empowered to lead one another. And so I wanted to shout out to the team that decided to jump into that, and that is Sophia Gordon-Williams, Ben Evans, Scotty Stolp, Megan Sandlin, Renee Hansen, Carolina Campbell, and Sarah Kremp. And I'm excited to tell you more about that specific work as the year continues, but I just want to say they took a risk and it's paying off and it's great. Second, I want to shout out to Carolina Campbell and Tammy Ingwerson. Right before break, we got word from Mercy Flights that we were the recipient of a large grant that's going to allow our students to connect with Mercy Flights and begin to start training for emergency medical training for our students. And so there's a lot that entails. There's a bunch of planning, and I think we're a little nervous about it, but it is wonderful and it's great for Phoenix Talent. We're actually the only school partner that's going to be doing that with Mercy Flight. So I'm excited to tell you more about that as that unfolds. But those staff members worked really hard on making that happen. So I want to make sure you know about that. And then also we've been focusing a lot on instruction, And over the last couple of weeks, we've been able to do a lot of professional development before the break and after the break, not so much in between there. But I wanted to shout out to Alyssa Barber, who's our instructional coach, who's making great connections and starting a culture of coaching at PHS. This is our first year with an instructional coach full time. And also Carolina Campbell and Renee Hansen, who led professional development for their peers yesterday. That hasn't happened a lot at PHS over the last several years, and we're really excited about, again, just that empowerment. Last but certainly not least, right before break, our DECA chapter was able to host an amazing event on our campus for other students and other schools as well as our own. And so I wanted to shout out to Celine Fairmont, who happens to be here, and our DECA officers, shout out, because we were able to host this event that not only empowered students, but we were able to get CEOs from local companies. So like Dutch Brothers was there, and also Cerakote, which is a big community presence, and actually we're able to talk to them about creating some possible internships in the future and some great community connections for our students. And so that doesn't happen just by chance. So I just wanted to thank Celine and also DECA for that. So thanks for listening. That's it.
our elementary kitchens and getting them ready for soon to be walk-in coolers coming, but the lighting, they're just beautiful. So if you guys stop in and want to see, you can already just see a world of difference that's happening there. Then I also want to thank everyone who did some of our Sodexo surveys coming out, and Joe, who helped me get out ones to the community, the family and students. And actually in your board packet, I'd be happy to talk about it later if you have any questions, but there's a summary in there from that survey. So we had about 237 families or students take that survey. And overall, our scores were actually really good. So I'm pretty impressed and happy with that. I think it's a great baseline. We plan to do that survey again in the spring. So I hope to only see things grow and improve. I've got some action items from it. And I think my next steps is maybe trying to get some more feedback from the students. As we've said, what do they want and how can we see these scores go better? And then last, I couldn't leave you without reminding you about the Future Chef event. It is going to be Thursday, March 21st. It'll be from noon to 4. I will be looking for volunteers to judge. I will invite everyone, as well as I'm going to try to get some, maybe some culinary people from our community here. Hoping maybe I could snag one of our executive chefs or something here in our community to maybe help judge that as well. And new this year, we're trying to get students to submit recipes online. So we'll see how that goes. There's problems, they can still submit a paper one to me though. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anything from the board?
Before the break, I attended the winter concert for TES, which was amazing. All the kids were so excited. They had it at Talent Middle School, which was awesome. It was super packed. And then I also attended a couple days later my daughter's band concert that was also at TMS, and she's in beginner band, so it was, you know, they are doing so good. And it was very impressive watching the beginner band go to the varsity band. Like my daughter went home and practiced after her concert. So
Well said, Rebecca. Thank you.
Yeah, Michael,
Go ahead, Rick.
I guess I should explain this thing on my face. Polly disagreed with me on something and
Are you disagreed with Polly on something?
yeah,
Yeah.
don't
yeah.
ever do that.
Yeah. What was all that you were saying about our great board? Yeah.
It's another biopsy, so that's what it is.
Glad to have you with us, Rick.
Thanks.
All right. Next is citizens' comments. I don't think we have anyone online. Do we have anyone in person who'd like to speak before the board today? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. Student representative report. I think that's next. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only me here today. I guess
Hey.
no one else showed up. But I guess I want to start off by saying happy Board Appreciation Month and thank you for having me here this term. And really happy to be here. And I didn't really have anything planned today, but there is a lot of positive things that have been happening at PHS recently. And before the break, I was in DECA and I am in DECA and I was a part of that conference that we had, and that went more than well. And I really got a lot of that, and a lot of people were motivated after that, and just amazing information that everyone was able to take away from it. A lot of my friends recorded it on their phones and just played it back later to dive in detail, like the information we were able to receive, because it was kind of a lot, but it was also a blessing. So that was really good. We also, before the break, we also had a hallway decorating contest also for us, which didn't go that well for the juniors, but whatever. Not too happy about that one, but it's okay. Happy for the sophomores. And coming back into this after break, it's been really good too. Coming back, and we were able to see how many people did good and were on honor roll this year. And I can say that a lot of my friends have improved a lot, and some of them maybe didn't reach that honor roll goal that they got, but are motivated now moving forward. And I think a big part of that is the teachers that we have. They're a lot more understanding, I feel like, this year than in past years. And an example of that would be one of our math teachers realized that we were like ahead on what we've been learning, and has like went out of her way to take her time to go back and make sure that everyone in our class understood that information and went back a unit. And I think that was very helpful for a lot of students here. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Is someone here with you today? No? Okay. Someone's not in the audience with you today? Would you like to recognize them for a moment? Tell us who's here.
Yeah, my dad, Jose Arturo, in the crowd. Yeah. He helps me a lot with what I do. He keeps me motivated. He keeps me in line. So I appreciate him for that a lot, more than I could ever say to him. So
Welcome, sir. We're very proud of your son. Thank you for being here today. Thank you. All right. Good job, Bobby. Okay. Brent.
Thank you, Chair Campbell. I just echo the sentiments of everybody that have shared how much we appreciate this board. I think this board is really an example of putting students first, has courageous conversations, and though you may not always agree, you definitely, well, not to bring up, usually 99% of the time is collaborative. No, it's a collaborative board that makes oftentimes tough decisions and tough policy making decisions. And just thank you for being an example of how a board can serve a community. So thank you. Want to share an update. We're maximizing and utilizing all the funding sources we have. And so we're going to take this time to adopt high school science curriculum. If you want to be a part of that, that first meeting is January 8th from 8:30 to noon. And if you have questions on that, you can check with Tiffany Lambert. I just really appreciate the process that we've had for adopting curriculum and make sure it's inclusive and meets the needs of every student that we have in our building. Want a little bit of sad news. Our friend Charlotte Draymond, she was a alumni president. She lost her battle with cancer just before Christmas, and she'll truly be missed. She was somebody that did a lot for the Alumni Association, and our kids have benefited from many dollars of four-year scholarships from that association, and I know her legacy will continue in that regard. Want to let you know we have a partnership with Umpqua Bank, and they've reached out to us to kind of maximize some of the holdings that we have, and they've been very good about keeping us informed about some opportunities. And in true Yasmin fashion, Yasmin has maximize the use of our dollars and put some things that are getting us 0.25% extra on some of our holdings, which is going to make use of our general fund dollars in the future. So thank you for that, Yasmin. And I also want to give a shout out to Denise. We had our Division 22 standards report approved by ODE. Phoenix Talent report was exemplar, is going to be used an example for districts around the state to show how detailed and above and beyond that report could look like. So, and that was a lot due to Denise. And that's all I have.
I had something to add in remembrance of someone. Doyle Cornwell was a teacher of math at Phoenix High School, and he passed this past week as well. And his wife, Linda, is still living, and she also worked at the high school. And I think both their daughters and themselves, they all lost their homes in the fire, and I've all recovered from that. So want to recognize his service that he gave. He was here in the 70s, and my sister had him for math while it was at Phoenix High School. So they were great people.
Thank you, Polly. And thank you, Brent. The science curriculum, what's the timeline on that? As far as from now to adoption? Or
We will probably bring it to board later in the spring, April. Okay, thumbs up on April.
okay, thank
or
you.
May.
Or May, okay. Or June. Okay. Consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Don. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Sarah. Any objections? Hearing none, the consent agenda is approved. Action items. First item, H1, early literacy grant.
Yeah, thank you. We had a public meeting last time about this. We did get word over the break that our plan was approved. It is just waiting on the action of the board. So
Motion?
I move to approve the early literacy grant application as presented.
Second.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Rebecca. Any discussion? Very exciting. Thank you all for your work on this. Very good job. Okay, we will vote. Sarah,
Yes.
Dawn,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Polly,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Passes. I should mention Nancy was under the weather. She's joining us virtually, which is great that we have that option. We thank her for not spreading germs tonight, setting a good example. Thank you, Nancy. Okay, H2, ESSER funds for TES and TMS seismic upgrades.
yeah, over the break, we also got our guaranteed maximum price for our final two bomb projects that we on the seismic for Talent Elementary and Talent Middle School. And these are, we were happy to get these. These are more than actually what we have of remaining in bond dollars. And if we utilize more than $25,000 of ESSER funds, it needs to have board approval. We're hoping this will be approved so we can maximize our general fund dollars and allow that to go further. This is allowable under ESSER. And once this is approved, John can submit them to the state to get them approved. They're big numbers. We're not going to use this high amount of ESSER dollars on these. This adds up to about $5.3 million.
I move to approve the use of ESSER funds for capital expenditures for TES and TMS seismic upgrades.
Second.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Rebecca. Discussion on this? Any questions?
I'll just say thank you to John. We all, we're all shaking our heads. You do an amazing job at helping find money. I know sometimes you get a little disappointed when you don't find as much as you want, but you do a great job finding money for us and thinking outside the box. So we appreciate that.
Further discussion? Okay, we'll vote. Sarah,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Holly,
Yes.
Nancy.
Yes.
I vote yes. It's approved. Item H3 is policy, GCBDA, family medical leave. Brent?
Yeah, pretty straightforward, just all red language based on paid family medical leave insurance act.
Motion?
I move to adopt policy language changes as presented.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Holly. Discussion? Okay. Vote. Sarah,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Holly,
Yes.
Nancy.
Yes.
I vote yes. Motion passes. Next is H4, which is the AR for this policy. Motion?
I move to delete the previous version of the policy GCBDA, GDBDA -AR1, family leave, and to adopt the new version as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Rebecca. Discussion? Voting. Sarah,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Holly,
Yes.
Nancy.
Yes.
I vote yes. Approved. We're scheduled for a recess, but we are working through it tonight. Do we want to take a recess or keep going? Okay. All right, we're gonna keep going. And staff, if you need to go whenever, you're welcome to. Okay, information and discussion. Next item is facilities and bond update. John.
Good evening, Chairman and the rest of the board. I echo everybody's appreciation of you all the time. I talk about how great our board is all the time. All of my meetings with OFSMA and everything. I'm just going to cover our what we accomplished over winter break. So as Amy mentioned, we are putting in walk-in coolers at Phoenix Elementary and Talon Elementary. To do that, we had to do full electrical upgrades at both schools for the kitchen, in the kitchen area. While we did that, we went ahead and upgraded all the lighting to LED. Because the kitchens were looking a little dingy, we in-house replaced all of the ceilings and put food grade light fixtures in and cleanable tiles and things like that. It's just kind of the beginning of our remodel. Once the coolers are installed, hopefully later this month or early February, we over spring break actually plan on painting both kitchens and replacing the flooring. So then we'll be finished.
I have a quick question.
Go
When
ahead.
do you think this was done the last time?
When it was originally built.
And you know the year of that?
That section? No, but I could get back
I'm
to you.
curious because I was actually going to school at Talon Elementary where they tore down the brick building and they built the round building. So I was just curious when that was and if this has been done since then. I'm thinking no. No, it's not the 40s. And remember what happens to people who cross my path.
If you looked at the kitchens and the cabinets, yeah, probably maybe it was definitely 60s probably. They were pretty old, or they are pretty old. So everything we're doing is trying to make it so everything's easier to clean. All the appliances that we've purchased with food service funds have wheels. They can pulled out. We can clean the floors, and even the new floors are going to be easier to clean. All the surfaces we've been redoing as we've worked on these kitchens, just in an effort to make it easier to clean and so that they can provide a better service to the students and staff. We also took on a little project to clean and reorganize the gym storage area because we needed the area for the walk-in cooler. And that was very successful. And my team did an incredible job. The custodians detail cleaned all schools and completed many of our seasonal bigger cleaning jobs. And as you can see, the school looks pretty good. The other ones do too. And last but not least, Phoenix Elementary, the gym and cafeteria new roof began over the break and is still ongoing as weather allows. And we did that contract during the summer. And that's all I have unless you have questions.
Questions for John? I imagine the roof there's no disruption to school operation.
No,
correct?
there's not.
Great. All right, awesome. Good work by you and your crew. Thank you. All right, financial update.
I think we'll keep most of the financial update for the audit report. So
Fair enough. Legislative OSBA update. Nothing going on there, right?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing at all. We will be having a few meetings this month. Now that I'm on the executive committee, there's a little bit more meetings, but yeah, we'll be having an in-person meeting and a few other meetings coming on. As you all know, it's a little bumpy of a road, and I'm hoping that our in-person meeting, we're spending some good time having the facilitator, and I hope that we can have healing conversations and move forward and become a stronger board and be a better role model for the boards in the state. So I look forward to doing that process. And if you guys ever have any questions about anything, just please reach out. And then do you want to talk about? Yeah.
So we're making plans for our legislators reception on January 22nd. You should have gotten an email. So RSVP, so we can get the food ordered and make sure that we have, I'm excited to say that Grants Pass Orchestra is going to come and perform during dinner. And then centerpieces have been provided by the Medford School District. Phoenix High School Culinary is going to provide a dessert, and then student art will be on display from both Phoenix and North Medford art programs. So we're looking forward to, we've heard from most legislators in our region will be able to attend. So we're excited to make that connection with them. And we've reached out to Klamath, to Steve Lowell, who's the OSBA representative for the Southeast region, and included not just the representative that we share, but one that serves his most of his region, and are hopeful that that representative will be able to attend, and we're looking forward to Steve coming as well. So just trying to create those relationships and strengthening the rural voice for legislators making decisions. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Sarah reminded me of something. The rural school caucus got approved, so thank you all. And we had our very first meeting a day ago. And there's a lot of turnout, and I am happy to say that Marianne Crandall from Pinehurst is the secretary treasurer of the rural school caucus. So I'm really excited about that, and can't wait to see what comes from that. And anytime there's a meeting, you're all welcome to come, because we are a member of the caucus. So any of you guys that at the UC rural school caucus meetings, you're invited. So I don't know when the next one. That wasn't covered in the very first meeting. It wasn't.
By chance caught it, but I don't know how to
Yeah.
find out.
I don't know. That's a good question, and I will put that input in.
Okay.
So, yeah.
In our
Oh, Rick, of course you would ask. Hang on, I had a map. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, there it is. So, let's see. It's kind of weird. The blue is not red and green. Okay, sorry. So pretty much everybody, I'll just say the people that aren't, because that's easier. So Grants Pass is not, and Medford is not. And Grants Pass is planning to put an appeal in. And the very first, we had our very first meeting, we set up an appeals committee. And so we'll have that ready soon so people can file appeals. I don't believe Medford is going to file an appeal to be a rural school. So it would be if Grants Pass gets it, it would be every school but Medford in our region. And then Klamath County Schools will get it, but not the Klamath Falls City Schools will not be in there. And there's some regions where the whole entire region is in there. So like Douglas East Coast, which is from Brookings all the way Curry, Coos, in Douglas County, every school district is included. There's quite a few in Lane. There's like 3 not in Lane. It's quite a few. So yeah, it's a lot. You're welcome. And I can forward anyone this map if they like to look at maps that are color coded in a little. So
Nothing makes me happier. Thanks, Don. Thank you both, and thanks for your work on the legislative night. We're looking forward to that for sure. I think that's becoming a nice little tradition. So, okay, next is equity, diversity, and inclusion update. Nancy, did you all meet on Christmas Day? I heard. No?
We did not meet on Christmas
Oh.
Day. I know. We were so disappointed. I was so excited to be there. I thought Kelly was there. We actually were moving right along. We had a really rich discussion around where there is energy and synergy to move this work along. I am really grateful for all the members. I'm really grateful for the effort to ensure that there's staff support because without resources, this work can't move forward. I'm grateful that folks are getting fed at these meetings, and it's been really nice to consistently have a pretty large group of folks participate. Other than that, it was pretty mellow. We had a great turnout, and I'll just wait for the next time that we meet. If people, let me see, I think the next time we meet is on the 16th of January, and maybe I can have a more robust update for you all.
That's great. Thank you, Nancy. Brent?
I will just echo what Nancy said, is that Kelly, after every meeting, is just so energized and inspired, and it's a great group of people that's safe to speak freely, and it's just exciting to see that the momentum continue to build.
Okay, great. Audit report. Rick, we're counting on you. Our resident CPA is here.
Answers down, good. Just was 3, I do. Before this way, and I have another one yet, and I have one. Yeah, can you? Okay, here's the report. If I can, I'll go over it with you. We met yesterday. Okay, is that better? Yeah. Okay. We met yesterday, and there were 5 of us present. And at this time, I'd like to refer you to, I've attached a copy of page 5 to this memo that I have. And it's also page 65 of the last page of the book, of your audit book. And you can look at that as well. What I want to emphasize is that number 1, we have an unmodified opinion from the auditors, and that's the best possible opinion you can have. They don't get any better than that. Internal control issues, there are none. We have good internal control. Non-compliance issues, no problems there. Federal awards, no issues. It's an oddity, the oddity, we are the oddity, and it was a low risk, rating that we got there. Financial statement findings, none. And federal award findings and question costs, there were none. So it was an excellent report. At this time, though, I will refer you to the report and look at page A-1 right in the beginning. In the lower right corner. And whenever you read any financial report, I encourage you to read this portion of any, because this tells you exactly what the auditor's opinion is. But you did see it in the summary, in that we had an unmodified opinion, but where it says opinions on page A-1 and second paragraph, in our opinion, the accompanying financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position. And as of June 30th, and then the respective changes in financial position for the year then ended. So that's the report there. If you go to page B-1, you'll see the financial highlights for the year. The three that I highlighted here was number one, in the government-wide statements, the total assets and deferred outflows of resources of the district exceeded its total liabilities and deferred inflows of resources as of June 30th by 9.42 million. And then the next item down is the district's total net position increased by 1.09 million. And they did footnote, in the prior year, the district's total net position had increased by 5.86 million. And then if you drop down three more bullet points there, district revenues increased from the prior year from 48.08 to 48.25 million. That gives you kind of a highlight of our numbers. And then if you'll drop down to, that was B1, go to B2. And there are two sets of financials in here. And the first one here is called the government-wide financial statements. And the government-wide financial statements are designed to provide readers with a broad overview of the district's finances in a manner similar to private sector businesses. That's your typical balance sheet, P&L statements that you might be familiar with. And it includes the statement of net position, the statement of activities. And then further on that page, the fund financial statements provide more detailed information about district's funds, focusing on the most significant or major funds. And then I'm having you reference pages 1 and 2 next. Just go forward past the ABC here. Oh, there's a C or not, but there's a B. On page 1, that's the statement of net position. Okay, that's under government-wide financial statements. And you'll see if you go down to about the middle of the page, total assets and deferred outflows of resources. In the private sector, you'd say it would be assets and deferred charges, like prepaid expenses. And that was 118 million, almost 119. I'm sorry, 17. Can't read well. And then total liabilities down near the bottom were 107. So the net position was a positive 9.423. And then on the next page, that was page 1, page 2. This would be like the profit and loss statement. Okay, this would be like the, okay. Like a profit and loss statement with the business. And they show the expenses first, it's 32 million up above, and then the revenues were 33. So we had an increase in that position of 1,000,088. And it shows the net position at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year. And then have you look over at pages 3 and 5. And those are the same statements, but for the fund balances. And if you look on page 3, you can see the balance sheet and like the general fund, special revenue fund and so forth, and then the total over there of 22.9. And then on page 5, that's the right one, yeah. Would be a similar thing for the statement of revenues and expenditures with like a P&L statement. And in the middle on page 4 is a reconciliation between the two financial statements. And I'll conclude this with a couple of comments we received from the auditor, which we're always happy to hear. And he said that the staff, the director, the staff are always well prepared. And we hear that every time, and it's just so reassuring. We're so lucky to have competent people in the financial area, because it can be, excuse my English, it can be all hell if you don't have people in there that know what they're doing. And we have people in there that know what they're doing. And is there anything you would like to add?
Feel, as Lee and activity really or okay. Oh, probably. I also wanted to thank you for making an effort. You first came on board and wanted to meet all.
Thank you. And Sarah, did anything you want to add? You're the other half of
It was really educational and of course, and always exemplary. The thing that I learned was that there's a new category for curriculum in expensing curriculum. And so that was super interesting to me to learn that there's a new way to expense curriculum that gets added to the general accounting, GASB, what general accounting, something, standards board. added a new way to do that because really the trend now is that you don't have a disc, right? With software on it, you pay a subscription, which is what we've done with our curriculum. So that's what I learned at the audit meeting is that there's a new category for auditing that expenditure. Super interesting. Job security.
I have a quick question. On the second page, it says Board of Directors. I'm not on there.
We're not on there?
No. So just wondering why that is.
Kidding. I don't know what to tell you.
Guess I can go home then? No.
And we get that corrected, I think we should have that reprinted.
No, you may not go home, Rebecca.
I want to recognize Yasmin and say how grateful I am for you and your leadership in your group. And even with all that's gone on with you, that you have always been available and explaining things in an understandable way. And I really appreciate your work there.
I'll echo that, and I'll just paint the picture of when this audit was happening. It was also the same time we were finalizing negotiations and readjusting COLAs and all that sort of stuff. And her business team was just absolutely amazing. When I sit through these audit reports, I just kind of do a big gulp with managing $116 million worth of assets and adopting a $40 million plus budget every year. Just so grateful for Yasmin and her team, and she is so good. And I agree with you, Rick. If you don't have a good financial person, it could be absolutely devastated district. And there's been some big challenges in our state that you know, it's happened that way, and superintendents have been you know, really challenged trying to dig people out of some poor decisions. So just so grateful for you, Yasmin, and your team. Thank you.
And did you read your contract? You can't leave.
Well, thank you for that report, Rick. Thank you, you and Sarah for serving on the committee. Thank you, Yasmin, as always, and Brent, your leadership. This is what you want to see as a school board from your audit. So thank you. Thank you very, very much. Why don't we do just a quick recess? We'll do 10 minutes. We'll back at 7:06. Okay. The return time's the guideline. All right. Welcome back. Next item is school safety. Brent?
Yeah, I have a couple quick things, and I told Rick I'd take the lead on this, but he can add anything from the last several weeks. I just want to let you know that we did have Safe Zone Solutions and their vendor and their partner come do a walkthrough in our schools and look at the windows for film and count the doors, and they are looking to have that kind of finalize a report to get to us a few days before our next work session, probably 3 or 4 days. We're shooting for the 15th to have something in the board's hands. Then we can discuss a little bit about that at the board session, and then if there's any action that the board takes, it'll have to be at a board meeting. But it was great to walk through. There was a lot of comments, and John's team kind of did a good job of how helping navigate them through all of our buildings. I think they were pleasantly surprised about some of the upgrades we've already done in our buildings, and their vendor as well, that's a local person, also made comments on just how safe and the measures we've already put in. So, and to build off that would be good. Anything else you want to add on that, Rick, at all?
Not really. I think you've covered it. It's what we've done has been excellent, and we should be proud of that. But we could go one step further and make it even better. So whatever we can do.
Sounds good. And then also we are, as you know, that Officer Hole has been promoted to a sergeant in the police department. And so that means that we'll need to find a new school resource officer. It's been opened for a while, and we do have one applicant that we're going to interview tomorrow. And we'll see where we are in that process. I'm very grateful that Officer Hole is going to continue to oversee the school resource officer program within our schools. And it's not just necessarily Phoenix High School and Phoenix Elementary, but he really does take a district-wide approach, even though they're different municipalities, and working with Sergeant Lehman as well. So we'll keep you updated on that. And that's all I have. School
Yeah,
safety.
he's done an excellent job.
One other thing I will tell you, we did have a Safe School Interagency Team meeting, our second one of the year. It's just really nice to get a group together that are police and fire elected officials and our partners that we partner with students and families, just to kind of get a sense of how things are going. And oftentimes we are experiencing and supporting the same families. So it's great to have an hour every quarter to really have that discussion and that connection. And thank you to Rebecca and Rick for joining.
Great. Thank you so much for that update. Good one. Okay. Thank you. Next item is J7, policy LDE. So these are policies for your review that we'll take action on next time. And these appear to have to do with the legislation that was passed last
Yeah,
year.
they're both of them just have red language and legislation that was passed. And that first one with public charter schools is about really the residing in a physical space within the district. And that came up, as you know, last year quite a bit. So.
Great. Any questions on those?
I don't know if it was this one or the next one, where you can start if someone out in the world has a student, they can start them in a charter school and they can continue to do so and not ask to get permission to do it, right? Okay. I was wondering about that when I was reading through these, if that was the case of what I'm seeing. You understand what I'm asking?
Yeah, I know where if they start,
Like say they're doing kindergarten at home.
Yeah.
At homeschooling, like for a charter school, and they start there. But when they go to school and then they decide they're gonna do something else, that's when they would have to ask for
for
permission.
permission to transfer.
Okay. And I was wondering like how many times, does that happen often here, or like, do you see that very often?
I mean, we have the virtual charter schools. I mean, we have a number of people that are attending virtual charter schools, so. And so that having some of those restrictions on that would be nice to, because we have a virtual school as well, so. But if there's a specific question on how the process, I can look into that.
I have just a quick question. The first sentence, the district is not required to approve a transfer of a resident student when more than 3% of the students residing in the district are attending a virtual public charter school not sponsored by the district. Okay, so I apologize that I should have asked this question beforehand because it's not my intention to put you on the spot. But do we know what percentage of our students residing in the district are attending a virtual public charter school that's not sponsored by us?
Yeah, we keep that. We're not, there was one time where we were, yeah.
But we're back down.
But we're down, yeah. So
Right.
we do keep track of that. And then when we get to close to that threshold, then that's when we can start making that decision. Yeah.
Good questions. Thank you. And then the final item is just a review of the next meeting agenda, which is a work session. It's going to happen at the district office. One of the things that a couple board members had reached out to me about is just a general overview on ODP, how it works, how it's funded. We did have a program report, but I think it would be a good idea. Thank you to those of you who suggested that. And I confirmed with Brent, we should have time to add that to the agenda. So we'll get that added. Other than that, that's the proposed agenda. So remember, we're having Kristen Miles from OSBA join us, and we're going to talk about our superintendent evaluation and our board self-evaluation and the alignment with those standards, if you will, of effective boards that we learned about at the OSBA pre-conference this past November. So, yes.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So this is going to be talking, we're not going to be looking at the last evaluations we did. We're going to be talking about how to improve the process in the future.
My understanding is that we'll look at what we've used.
Okay.
So our current
Like rubrics type thing.
rubrics
Okay.
and how that does or doesn't align with the 12
Okay.
standards of effective boards.
Okay, but we're not going to look like at a actual evaluation that we did.
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
I'm just trying to prepare myself.
Yeah, no,
Even
it's,
though that doesn't happen.
yeah,
often.
it's more about process rather than
Perfect.
the actual substance of any that we've done before. Yeah, so it's more planning for the future and just making sure that we're measuring against those standards of effective school boards, basically.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah. Good question.
So it's been a hot minute since November. Should we be reviewing something prior to coming to this meeting to prepare ourselves for these conversations? Should we revisit or was the plan to come with an open mind, ready to listen, or?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think if there is anything, we'll communicate that. I mean, I think at the very least, we could send out the, what we currently use for review. And then perhaps Kristen will have some materials for us to review. So, yeah. And I'm gonna get with her in the next within the next week or so. And so if there's anything, I'll try to give you at least a week, but it shouldn't be, shouldn't be too exhaustive or anything. Just like a 5-page research paper for each person, that works. 10 sources, APA formatted. Okay, cool. Thank you. Brent, did you have anything to add on it?
No, I was just gonna say that too. We can reach out to, but if you're gonna reach out to Kristen Miles, that'd be good. And if there's anything we could send and, I think we talk about both of these sometimes and it's just like, oh my gosh. And then we're kind of behind the 8 ball on some things when we're approving evaluations. And so actually spending some time on process, I think will benefit everybody.
Great. Okay.
Are you feeding us?
Work session.
Just confirming.
He's personally. He's cooking, I heard. On one leg. No. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you all very much. Have a good night. We are adjourned.
Good night, everyone.